Welcome back to Cursed Convos. It's something sick with your boy.
Hello, Chips.
Yeah. And we got an interesting case here today from Russia and how this individual made a living on the only way he knew he could, through gruesome, mischievous methods, and how it came to haunt him in the very end. This is the story of Dmitry Kazakov, the robber who was addicted to the thieving lifestyle and just couldn't get enough. Okay, just a little side convo. Have you ever stolen anything in your childhood or even recently in your life?
I'm not gonna out myself. The fuck?
Yeah, this is the feds. The feds are listening, man.
Yeah,
Never know.
yeah. I stole a couple grand here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I've stole some shit before. It got pretty scary too.
Really?
Thought I was gonna get caught up. Yeah, I thought I was gonna get caught up.
Nah, it's story time. Let's go. Let's hear it.
When I was younger, I went to this, typical store and I stole some Pokemon cards.
Oh, God.
Yes, sir. Back when that shit was hot. All right, but I didn't even know what that was back then.
Trying to pull a Charizard, huh?
Dude,
I don't even know what's the best one.
Well, yeah, pretty much Charizard.
Oh.
The old version.
Oh.
But now, yeah. So I just stole a pack. I was with family and my cousin there, and I think he was gonna take something too. And I was like, "Oh, I want to steal some Pokemon cards. Like, will you help me?" And he was just like, "Bro, just go grab the pack, kind of put it in the aisle,
kid.
like you're looking,
Play
and
cool.
then unbox it, and then just put it in your pocket." And I was like, "All right, cool. Thanks for helping me." And I was 10 or 11 or so.
Oh, shit,
And so
okay.
we ended up fucking taking it, and then I met up with him. I was like, "Oh yeah, I got it," And it was weird because there was this worker. I think she was a worker. She walked past and she kind of looked at me, and then she just kept walking. And she didn't say anything, yeah, but I'm pretty sure she knew, right? It's fucking sus. And then, as I met up with my family, I was we were paying and leaving, and I was just on edge the whole time. And then, we made it outside, and then you just see these fucking cop cars pull up, and I'm just oh fuck.
Oh
I'm
my
are they
God,
here for me
gotcha.
or? Yeah, no, I thought so too. And then we just got into the car and we left and got away with it. But it was fucking pretty scary. I was like, yeah, I don't want to steal again. So
Fuck yeah, little mini heart attack.
Nah, for real, bro.
Shit. I mean, yeah, I was around the same age. Whenever I stole my very first thing, it was those grips on the controllers, and I was like, oh my God, I need those. And it's small enough to open it up and then just boom, shove them in your pocket, right? And I mean, I was scared as fuck too, because I was with my brother, and I mean, I actually got the idea from him, or he had mentioned it. It was fuck it, let's just take them. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And I guess he had experience or whatever, because he's like, yeah, we just gotta go to this certain spot that has no cameras. And so I followed him. Boom, we unpacked it. And I mean, yeah, we just fucking took those bitches. But I mean, I always had a little guilty conscience. Yeah, it's cool I have them, but it just felt morally wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt about the cards too. I was like, fuck, was it worth almost getting caught up and shit? So I don't know, but fuck, man, where I'm working at now, all you see is fucking pretty much shoplifters, and it just baffles me how they don't care to do it. And that's because there's a shit ton of cameras everywhere.
And they tell
So
you
it's
not to do anything,
fuck.
right? Don't be Superman. Don't try to run after them or whatever, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, which kind of sucks. I feel you will realistically only get in trouble, I think, if you steal over $500.
Oh shit.
$500 worth of shit. Yeah, that's what they usually say. My last job, that one was terrible. There was people stealing left and right. I knew my managers during the day, they would actually surprisingly do something, and if they saw them stealing or somebody called it out, they would be go to stop them and shit.
Oh,
And then
okay.
this one guy, yeah, this one person they stopped almost walked out with $500 to almost $700 worth of fucking liquor.
Oh shit.
I was just bro, yeah, that shit was crazy, bro.
Damn.
I don't know. Yeah, and then Shout out to my one coworker. I feel bad for him if he ever finds this shit. But no, yeah, I mean, there's this one individual. They came in, and pretty much, I guess he had soul before I came in, and so he left. And well, my coworker noticed it was the same person, and so he called them out. He was like, "Hey, like, you know, like, we need you to leave because like we just saw you steal like literally like 20 minutes ago. Like, why are you back here?" The individual didn't say anything, and then he was just kind of like still pressing him to get out. And then the guy went up to his face and he pretty much like talking shit. He's like, well, what the fuck, like, why are you telling me to get out and this and that, like just pretty much playing the victim card. And then after, my coworker was just like, yeah, like, you can either leave or I'm gonna call the cops, like, that's it, like, I'm just asking you to leave, I'm not yelling at you or anything. And then the fucking individual just like checks him in the face and shit.
Oh
So
shit.
like, yeah, they got into like a whole fight. Shit was crazy, man.
Start throwing hands. I mean, shit. Someone's gotta teach him. Like, fuck, you probably was never hit as a child, or never told no, or I don't know, like never disciplined. You know, like, shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People are fucking unpredictable.
All right, bet. You ready? Gonna jump right into it. Being born into this world, we all have the same drive to become someone and have stability in the world by obtaining jobs till you hopefully one day land onto your dream job. But not everyone sees the world this way. Some people figure the best way to make it through this life is through deceiving, thieving, and even violence in order to make some quick cash. Dmitry Kazakov was one of those people. He was a Russian serial killer and robber who committed 6 robbery murders between 2009 and 2021, almost always killing the security guard on duty. Kazakov stole money and other valuable property in the amount of 100,000 to 1.9 million rubles. I did look it up to like see what's the currency compared to US dollars.
Yeah.
And it was a drastic difference.
Yeah, I think 1 million is like 100,000 or something.
Yeah, basically. So like at first I was like, oh my god, that's a lot of bank. But yeah, after looking it up, I'm like, I mean, it's still
the same
a
thing
lot,
with with I think it's Japanese currency, where like 1 million yen is actually I think like a 10,000 or something. Don't quote me.
Yeah.
I don't know the facts, but it's usually you take off 1 0. So if it's 1 million, I think it's like 100,000 or some shit. But
yeah,
it's pretty interesting to like see
the differences. If the court proves Dmitry Kazakov's involvement in all the crimes described, he faces a very severe punishment, up to life imprisonment. But let's start at the beginning and take a look into his early life. Dmitry Kazakov was born on May 7th, 1972, in a small town called Iskitim, along the Bird River in Russia. The second of 3 children, his parents, Gennady and Tatiana, worked at a secret machine building plant in the city, belonging to one of the space industry of the USSR. While neither parents exhibited any negative influence on their children, the family was not well off financially. Which is like crazy, because like you would think with such a high status job, like it'll bring in the big bucks, you know, like the whole secret building of the USSR. As a teenager, Kazakov began to show signs of kleptomania, which is the inability to resist the urge to steal items, usually for reasons other than personal use or financial gain. By the late 1980s, he began taking bigger risks, for which he was imprisoned several times. In one case, he was arrested for breaking and entering a store, and in another, he was detained by police officers for burgling into a house through a window. His mother was already complaining about her son's difficult character and behavior, constantly repeating, quote, "This is our pain." The neighbors of the Kazakovs explained, quote, "Dmitry got a taste of the thieving life from a young age and grew accustomed to it, craving more," end quote. Menace. He was like a little menace in his younger age.
Considering that he's pretty much acting on impulse, is, yeah, you know, kind of already a menace.
I was gonna say, like, do you blame him if it's like a disorder? But I don't know. Is it a disorder? Should I just look it up?
I mean, like, I don't know if it's a... Well, look it up. Yeah, he's got the facts.
You're right. Real-time facts.
It's like saying like, hey, someone with a mental illness killed someone or even like raped someone. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I get you.
are they like? Does that make it okay to like let them off the hook, or does that still is a bad thing? So regardless, I feel like if you do have a mental illness, which sucks, but you still shouldn't be let off easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why they have like certain times where they send them to like the psych ward for life or something. Then you know.
Yeah, or like some type of therapy or, sessions to make them better, or I don't know if they have pills for it. But yeah, I just looked it up. It is recognized as a mental health disorder. So it does raises that question. And I mean, for sure, if he goes to court, people are going to like bring that up as well, as a try to like soften the sentence. It's like you said, take them to a mental hospital.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I feel like it's still like an equal thing because like nobody wants to be in a mental hospital,
Yeah.
Like that shit will even have an effect on you. So regardless, I feel like you're still kind of in a prison. I mean, rightfully so. If they do something so bad,
Yeah.
But there was something else I was going to say, but whatever. Fuck it. Let's dive into it.
Okay. Entering his adult life. After finishing school, Kasakov led an antisocial lifestyle, abusing alcohol, and was often arrested on charges of disturbing the peace in the local detention center. During this period, one of his girlfriends became pregnant and gave birth to a daughter, but as neither he nor the girlfriend wanted to take care of the child, it was sent off to Kasakov's grandparents, who later adopted her. Kasakov made a living by stealing and speculating. That's another fancy word that, I wanted to look up, and it's the purchasing of assets or real estate with the hope to have it be more valuable in the future. While trying to become... No, yeah, go ahead.
Which word was it?
Speculating. Like, I was like, what?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Got you.
While trying to become a professional thief in the late 1990s, he married another woman who bore him a son. In 2007, he carried out his first big robbery with the help of a school friend, with whom he robbed the Olymp company office. After breaking the door using tools, a masked Kasakov started to move the money from the safe while his apprentice tied up the female security guard, threatening her with a toy gun. The two men stole a total of 1.3 million rubles and successfully fled, later dividing the spoils between them. Would you ever, if I ever came up to you and be like, yo, Chips, I got a huge score, man. I got the blueprints. I got it all laid out. I just need your fucking help. Are you in or are you out?
All right, so I'm going to clip this and I'm going to send it to the FBI.
Gulp. You motherfucker. You out me? You fucking bitch.
I gotta ask my cut. What's my cut, G? I want 55%.
55%? Yes, but I came up with the plan. I came up with the execution, the score.
Alright, fine. 53.2%.
Drive a hard bargain. What about 20?
20? Yeah, that's on my head. Maybe. I was wondering when you were gonna ask me. Let's run it up. I know.
Nah, you son of a bitch. Amen.
Nah, yeah, I think I would,
bro. Maybe. Like if it sounded like a really good plan,
yeah,
too.
It would literally have to like be worth it.
I respect that. I thought you were gonna be like, hell no. What the hell?
I think I'd be down. I've watched a couple of bank robberies shows. I think I know.
Dude, and that's because there's just one individual that I know about. He literally like took notes from a movie, like all the robbery movies, and like and actually executed them into like real life. It's crazy. Like he would wear the exact same masks as well, and like everything, even say like the same lines sometimes. It's like crazy, and he actually got away with it a couple times.
Who the fuck is this individual?
I don't know. I saw a YouTube video about it. He was pretty cool, not gonna lie, because he even did a prison escape. Like he had a whole helicopter fly down, And they even had like a helicopter netting on top of the prison, yet they still like planned it in a very like elegant way to like, it was just flawless execution. It was pretty impressive. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's a criminal. It's like we're not supposed to root for the bad guys, but shit, damn it, he's good.
Wow. That's crazy.
But anyways, let's focus on our criminal, our dirtbag of the day. Despite the fact, almost all of his conscious life, he never worked and earned his living by stealing. Kazakov always managed to evade attention by the law enforcement and was never a suspect in any violent crimes. His wife and mother-in-law later claimed that he financially supported the family without having any known legal job. The question of where the money originated from was allegedly never discussed, despite the fact that at the turn of 2010, Kazakov bought a BMW X5, a snowmobile, and a motorcycle. In 2011, he was arrested for drunk driving, and as he refused to undergo a medical examination, he was deprived of his driving license. After this incident, things started to get more intense and gruesome. Kazakov committed his first murder in May 2009 during a robbery in a company office in his hometown. He entered the premises through a balcony on the second floor and confronted a security guard, whom he brutally beat with a rock, inflicting a head injury that led to the guard's death. His loot was more than 600,000 rubles, but this wasn't enough for Kazakov. In October 2009, Dmitry chose the commercial organization called PSK. Under the cover of night, he entered the building, brutally beat the security guard, tied him up, and stole more than 100,000 rubles from the cash desk. The guard was unable to free himself and died at the crime scene from his injuries. Kazakov remained unpunished yet again. It only took a year for Dmitry to return to his crimes, while getting even bolder in his executions. In December 2010, Kazakov was surveilling the office of the Kuryasvov company. When he realized that the security guard might be armed, Kazakov purchased a shotgun and decided to shoot the man immediately after entering the building. Upon breaking through the doors, the male security guard was shot in the head, after which Kazakov stole 500,000 rubles.
Fuck, man. Like, this guy's already turning into a fucking murderer.
Yeah, like it went from toy guns to legit shotguns and fucking just tearing people's heads off.
I mean, it's like, he has a bad habit if he's now increasing his efficiency to like get the money, which is like fucking crazy. Think about, like, imagine having an impulse that strong to just do it,
and you're like successfully getting away. It's gonna give you more confidence for sure. After the successful heist, Dmitry started to feel untouchable. Just 3 months later, in March 2011, Kazakov decided to rob another office in his hometown, really sticking to a pattern here. After breaking the lock and entering the building, he brutally beat up and tied the guard with some rope, but did not find any money, as the company owner did not keep any cash in the building. The injured watchman managed to survive and was driven to the hospital, but his condition deteriorated several days later and he sadly succumbed to his injuries. Despite the brutality of the crime, Kazakov left no noticeable traces that could lead to his arrest. On March 6, 2012, Kazakov committed a daring robbery of a post office building in the industrial micro-district of Iskitum. Kazakov claimed that while passing by the post office building in the afternoon, he had happened to notice 2 collection vehicles driving into the yard of the post office, which brought several bags of money into the building, after which he decided to commit the robbery. Of the evening of the same day, he went to the post office again and observed the situation inside the building for a few minutes. While doing so, he noticed that there was a single female security guard. A few hours later, Kazakov again went to the post office building, taking him with the necessary tools for a break-in: a tire iron, chisels, screwdrivers, and an angled grinder. After breaking the lock with the tire iron, he entered the building and attacked the watchman, during which he tied her up and pulled a hat over her eyes so that the woman could not see and remember his appearance. After threatening the woman, Kazakov was shown the room with the cash register. After breaking the door down, he entered inside and found a bag of money that the collectors had failed to place in the safe. This was really unfortunate, but I'm sure in his eyes it was the contrary. The contents consisted of 5,625,000 rubles in pensions. At the moment the door to the cash register was opened, an alarm went off, prompting Kazakov to flee. He was spotted fleeing by security guards who arrived at the scene and was engaged in a chase, but he managed to escape. When he arrived home, Kazakov changed his clothes and moved the money into a potato sack before driving to the nearby woods, where he burned his clothes and the bag carrying the money. Unbeknownst to him, his fingerprints were left behind on some of the tools he had used to defend the bag during the escape, after which his identity was quickly established and he was arrested. So they finally fucking caught him. And I was gonna say like how they didn't find his fingerprints or any DNA from the brutal beatings from before. But hey, I mean, as long as they found something, it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, okay, don't get me wrong, like, he knows to destroy the evidence, you know?
True.
But still, like, how is it gonna take you this long? And don't they have, like, security? I mean, then again, we don't know the whole story. Like, he probably did plan it out. Like, oh, yeah, there's, like, gonna be cameras this angle, that angle, and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just crazy that it took that long, specifically.
True. And especially because he had a whole pattern as well.
No, yeah. You would think, like, because he was robbing, what, his hometown?
Yeah, it was, like, all in his hometown. It was just going for companies. And it's like after the first two, you'll be like, oh, shit,
yeah.
we should up in the security around here, you know?
And I think there's already a dead body at one of them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd probably think, like, hey, yeah, like,
this is serious. People are dying. Like,
that's
but
whatever. Hey, fucking, that's cops for you.
Yep. Just taking time with cases sometimes, or it's sad to say that some cops barely try in some places, but I know there's some good ones out there too. Don't get me wrong.
No, yeah, 100%. There's just some more than others are lacking.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Fuck you, right? At least he was caught, so let's go.
Yeah. During the interrogation, Kazakov admitted guilt and showed the police officers where he had hidden the money, but by that time he had managed to spend approximately 102,095 rubles. In July 2012, Kazakov was convicted of the robbery and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. He served his sentence in a strict regimen colony, where he committed several offenses. As a result, he was charged with additional crimes and had an additional year added to his sentence. So he was being a menace in that motherfucker too.
Wait, hold on.
Jeez.
So they caught him for the robbery, but they didn't count any murder that he did onto his charges?
Right? Because shouldn't that be like way more? Like 7 years? Just 7 years?
Yeah, and they didn't say anything about him murdering. Like,
well, technically 8,
people.
but still, that's not enough.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because he added that charge, like, while he was in. Jeez. But that's still a little.
Yeah, that was, like, not the proper, like, investigation they did on him.
In sentencing, yeah. It should be, like, 20 max.
I mean, and for manslaughter.
25.
Should be
oh, yeah,
than that.
probably even more, yeah. What the fuck am I on about? Yeah, it should be, like, life sentence worthy. Okay. However, the prison term did not correct Kazakov, and he continued his criminal activities after his release in 2020. He was aware that the new security measures made offices and storages more secure, so he decided to move to house robberies, stealing money and jewelry that he later successfully sold. But as we know, there wasn't always a clean getaway. On the night of 26th to the 27th September 2020, Kazakov robbed a cottage on the resident street in Iskidam. where Alexei Kadgodov, the chief physician of the Iskidam City Hospital, lived. Kazakov broke into the house at night through the window, silently squeezing out the frame with the help of 2 chisels. For several days before, he had carefully studied the place and the daily routine of the Kadgodovs. Inside, while inspecting the house, he found the physician's wife, 66-year-old Ludmila Kadgodov, asleep in the bedroom, whom he woke up and tied her with stalked rope. After Ludmila began to scream loudly, Kazakov struck her several times on the head with a crowbar, causing a head injury that led to the woman's death. After the murder, Kazakov searched the house, stole money, and a number of items of value and fled. The woman's bloody corpse was found by her husband when he returned home from hunting that morning. Just so sad, man, just returning home to your wife dead. And, you know, I mean, the robbery's like the least of the worries. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
No, yeah, that
Shit.
should be like one of the shittiest things to come to. And I 100% guarantee you they're probably blaming it on him. Like at one point they probably thought it was him.
The husband, right? It's like shit. I mean, because in most cases, yeah, they're like that's the first suspect, because it usually is, sadly. Okay. Kadgodov's murder caused a public outcry in Russia, further exacerbated by the initial reports that she had been tortured by her killers. The investigation was undertaken by the chairman of the Investigative Committee of Russia, Alexander Bashrykin, and on his instructions, the case was transferred to the central office of the agency. After several examinations, the perpetrator's DNA was linked to Dmitry Kazakov through some blood samples. He was then put on a federal and then an international wanted list. In the meantime, Kazakov left the Novobrsk Oblast and moved to Tomsk on the night of June 1st to the 2nd, 2021. He broke the front door of the Tomsk House Building Company using locksmithing tools. Once he entered inside, Kazakov killed 60-year-old watchman Gregory Emlyanov and stole a safe containing more than 600,000 rubles. Police being hot on his trail, Kazakov was finally arrested on June 8th, 2021 at a rented apartment in Tomsk by criminal investigation officers of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, with support from the National Guard of Russia. Kazakov did not resist his arrest and cooperated with the investigators. While searching his apartment, officers found some of the missing money in a closet and a bag of locksmithing tools. During the interrogation, Kazakov pleaded guilty to the charges against him and provided the investigators with information about other murders, in which he had never been a suspect of. He had also stated that he planned another robbery in Tomsk, with his intended target being a high-ranking official that he had been observing for several days. The man's name and address were found on a piece of paper inside Kazakov's rented apartment. Kazakov stated that he had committed the murders out of desire to steal. In the course of the investigation, he suddenly expressed remorse for what he had done and revealed that he had recently started feeling depressed and remorseful for being a serial killer, saying, quote, "I see them in my dreams every night, all those killed by me. I'm tired," end quote, during one of the interrogations. In February 2022, investigators completed the criminal case and the regional prosecutor's office approved the charges against Dmitry Kazakov. The trial was scheduled to begin at the end of August 2022. Shortly before the trial was set to begin on August 9th, 2022, Kazakov committed suicide at a pre-trial detention center. The medical personnel who arrived at the scene carried out resuscitation measures, but were unable to save his life. Employees at the detention center stated that Kazakov had repeatedly shown signs that he had intended to end his life due to the fact that he faced a likely sentence of life imprisonment. I mean, obviously, you fucking serial killer, but that is the end of Dmitry Kazakov's story. The robber who just couldn't get enough. What are your
Fucking
thoughts?
agreed. fucking greed, man. That's literally all it is.
Just yeah, straight up greed.
Literally straight up took over his life.
And it did answer a question before, because like how we were saying, like, oh wait, why is it only 7 years? It's because they didn't know he had murdered people. Yeah, they just found that out while interrogating him. So I guess I could see that. But
which, I mean, I get that, but like, you wouldn't try to connect like other, what is it, like robberies to like the current ones or the past ones, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you, because they pretty much like arrested him for one of the robberies,
and he was doing a pattern, right? And it's like, it should have been, like, this is our guy for these ones as well.
So yeah, they should have looked into it. They should have thought better to be like, hey, maybe he was the one who did these other ones and the murders, but they didn't think like that, which is outlandish, you know what I'm saying?
Really outlandish. Like, yeah, they didn't ask the right questions, or they just simply didn't connect the pieces together, you know? It is sloppy work for that. I mean, they should have really like find all that shit and then gave him what he rightly deserved from the start, you know, from the very first imprisonment.
Yeah, and I fucking hate that. Like always, I want to say at least 50% of the time, everyone who's caught usually ends up fucking taking their own life, which is fucking dog shit.
It's cowardly. Yeah, our last guy did the same shit. Yeah, we're seeing a little thought process into these motherfuckers, you know? It's like they rather die than...
No, I know, yeah, exactly. And then
fucking punishment.
Which, like, I've heard many other stories, too, about it. They're like, oh, yeah, they've done some horrible shit, and then by the end of the day, they take their lives. And I'm like, well, why? Like, why do you fucking do that? Like, why do bad shit if you can't handle it?
Yep.
God. Man. Fucking lovely. But, I mean, that was tough to hear. You know, sorry for all the families that were, you know, were in that. Our prayers go out to them.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it is sad.
Fucking does piss you off though. Like, he fucking ended himself just because of the repercussions.
And they even they should have had a close eye on him, because they even said that he had shown signs. It's like, bro, do your job. Like, if he's showing signs, keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't have anything in there to, like, you know, pierce him or hang himself with, you know? Like, I mean,
they obviously didn't care. I mean, it's tough to say that about every, like, you know, psych ward that's there and shit, because they usually don't tend to, like, keep very much mind and on their patients.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening if you stayed this long. And, you know, leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts as well, because, I mean, yeah, we would like to know. We will comment back as well. We will reply. We also do creepypastas. If you have any stories about creepypastas, or maybe someone that is another asshole out there that we haven't heard of and you would like for us to cover, you know, and obviously subscribe, like. It's been something sick with
Load Chips. And we'll see you in the next one.